session. All right, we're recording now. I still don't know how they're going to distribute the AP test, but there's either way, we're going to take it somehow. So we're going to start taking the tests, those assignments on AP College Board, and we're going to spend class periods going over them. Manny asked me, I think 2 weeks ago, are we still going to do assignments over break, the spring break? And the answer is yes, because what else are you guys going to do? All right, we're just here.
Sleep.
Sleep. See, you still sleep regardless,
That's true.
right? I just
Okay.
okay.
All you guys are giving us so much work too. Like, obviously,
Hey, Byron, you had 2 weeks to do this.
I got other teachers too. They be tripping too.
Okay. So some people are just joining, and I barely started the recording right now, so I'm just gonna recap in a minute what we did. If you're curious, not this one. These people submitted their essays. What you should be doing is editing it. So if I already talked to you guys by tomorrow at let's say 10 p.m., you should have a draft that's final. You're not going to re-add anything. You're just going to go on here, and when you're ready, so for example, if you're Ashley, I'm going to mute some of you guys real fast. Okay,
Please, I can't hear.
Mister, why'd you choose mine? It's so bad.
Just for example. All right, so for Ashley's, when she's done editing it, she'll change her title to leave her name and just say final draft. And that's how I know it'll be ready, right? So you're not going to re-add or reshare anything. Just change it to final draft, and I know it's ready to grade. But once you change the final draft, that's when I'm going to start grading. But I'm going to start grading at 10 p.m. tomorrow. All right, we're not going to look at Ashley's, but I left the shared one up here just in case you're curious about people's essays and you need some motivation. We're not cheating, we're not stealing the work, but we're using it as inspiration. So maybe if we have a quote, we're going to look at it. The point we did for, the shared doc for class is so we have a resource to find quotes. And some people added some great quotes, and some people added some quotes without page numbers, which is, we want to fix that. But that is the assignments, and I'm going to add that today. So once again, if you're ready for it to be graded, you should change it to, let's say Juliana. You should put Juliana, change the name to be final drafts, and it'll share automatically with me. As a reminder, for today, I am meeting with these individuals right here. Brianna, Chelsea, Angie, Byron, Destiny, and people that are missing. I'm not sure if you guys want to reschedule. I'm free tomorrow. Amy, Cynthia, Alma, and Deb. If you have any questions though, after this, you could definitely let me know. All right. Final recap. You have essay, discussion posts, and stuff due for this. There's the letter to your future child. It's on there. We were supposed to start on Unit 5 last week, but we're a little behind. Unit 5, it's based on a play called The Crucible, and I don't know exactly how we're gonna do it yet, but I do need you guys, because I have a lot of notes I do for this unit. So you might need to take some notes just so you know what to write and know what to look at on Friday. But we're gonna start this. To get started, you have to do, and if you're behind, this is gonna suck a lot. So we have 2 discussion posts. One about the Salem witch trials, and what you need to do is there's a video link to a Watch Mojo, and it's the top 5 facts about the Salem witch trials. And there's an article about what are the Salem witch trials. You might have learned this in U.S. history briefly. The entirety of our play is about the Salem witch trials. So you need to answer these questions because we're going to jump right into Unit 5 on Friday. And second thing is this one. I might change this one to Tuesday. Actually, yeah. change this to Tuesday. If you want to do that in advance, you can. So this one's due, say, Monday night. All right, so the only thing you have to worry about is, if you're done with everything else, is the Salem straws. Wait a minute. Alex, did I talk to you yet? Did you schedule a day? Alex, I need you to schedule a day. I realized I didn't read your name. Let's see. No, Alex.
Cheater.
All right, so I need to, and hopefully the people that I did meet with, it was helpful during our session, so you know what to look at. Okay, so if you have any questions, let me know in the chat box, or you unmute yourself. But it's hard to move on, I guess, without moving forward. Oh, actually, this is what we can look at. All right, so on Friday, what you need to have done is the other ones. So we have discussions 6, 7, 8. They're technically due on Friday, but grades are officially being submitted tomorrow. I would love to have the rest of them done, but I'm gonna start grading them. And if you don't have them in, I guess by tonight, you'll get a 0 instead of a late credit. If you get to the end of the book, let's see. Yeah, because a few of you guys didn't do it. Please get that done. And then we can go over some stuff. If you're not, let's go over the last 2 discussions, just so you guys know what you need to do. Sorry about that. All right, discussion number 7. It's fairly simple. So, what I like to do is have dialogue journals, and this one, if you need more resources for quotes, it's fairly simple. Directions: please read pages 111 to 132 in between of the book and choose 3 quotes that you think are powerful, that resonated with you. Then in 1 paragraph, instead of 2 paragraphs like the rest of them, review one of the quotes. You can reflect on the meaning, ask a question about the quote, or even connect it in some way. Don't forget to write the page number of the quotes. After you post, you will need to respond 5 times. So instead of writing a paragraph, your main job is to respond to people. So you see Steph and Kidia, they were able to do that. For example, so Steph put 3 quotes here, which is good quotes. What I want to see was to put as much distance between you and that blinding fear as possible. I wanted you to see the different people living by different rules. If you looked at this section, this is actually one of my favorite sections of the book. It's about him when he travels to a different country. He realizes that his whole life he was blinded by this fear, and that fear was caused by the childhood he grew up by growing up in the hood. And he learns that being a child who grew up with fear, he couldn't look at the wonders and beauty of the world. So that blinded him to the good things. If you're writing the essay about fear, that's important. If you're writing an essay about the dream, that's very important to look at. But all you need to do is 3 quotes, and then choose any of the quotes right there and write a paragraph about it. Why did you choose that quote? And then easily just go respond to 5 other people. All right, number 7 is fairly simple. For 8, that's the end of the book. This is called part 3. That's when he's reflecting on everything else. He's thinking about why he wrote it. Please read the pages. So this is the last 20 pages. It's called part 3. And in this one, going back to the same structure as before, 2 paragraphs and 2 responses. Each paragraph should be about 7 to 8 sentences. You want to get full credit. So the first paragraph, I give you a quote. Quote says, "I thought back on the sit-ins, the protesters with their stoic faces, the ones I'd once scorned for hurling those bodies of the worst things in life. All those photographs from the 1960s, all those films I beheld of black people prostrate before clubs and dogs were not simply shameful, indeed, were not shameful at all. They were just true." So if you remember early on, he talks about his hero is Malcolm X. He's saying that he can't believe all those people back in the 1960s, they'll allow the police officers and white people to beat them. He thought that nonviolent protest was dumb. He's like, why would I sit there and let someone intentionally hurt me or degrade me or shame me? He thought those people were not courageous enough. That's why he liked Malcolm X. Malcolm X is a guy that was willing to fight back. By the end, so in this section, he talks to people that were actual civil rights activists, and he changes his mindset. He changes his point of view. And why? What does he learn? What does he learn in those sections that causes him to change, causes him to evolve? All right, in the second paragraph for this response, have you been in an area where you were one of the few of your own ethnicity? Explain this experience and how you felt. If you haven't experienced this, try to imagine how it would be for you. Considering your own background, do you feel like you will have something to constantly prove in terms of finding success? Do you feel the weight of your family, culture, people on your shoulders? This sounds confusing, so let me explain it to you. For people like Prince Jones or Coates, they were going to be one of the first people in their family to graduate or to get a college degree or to get a successful job. They felt like when they were in certain situations, especially in your situation where you're the only person of your skin color, many times when they were in jobs, they were only black person or whatever, they felt like they were representing their people. I have like this joke or story that I used to go around. During college, I would hate going to buy a Panda Express because I feel like people expect that out of me, so I'm never gonna do that. But it's just like an inside thing. You don't want people to come judge you for something dumb. It's like you feel the weight of the world, that people are going to stereotype you, so you want to go against those stereotypes. So for you, I mean, right now living in HP, if you do live in HP, it's a very different environment because you're homogeneous, meaning you're part of the people of the same group. But I promise you, when you go to college, you'll be surrounded by people of all ethnicities, mainly especially people who are white. I told people during my first few years of college at Cal State Long Beach, I experienced some racism. When the area I lived in, I just see people used to say very derogatory things to me, and that's something you had to get used to. You have to have thick skin growing up. So I'm not saying that that's the experience that you always get, but that's one of the experiences. For myself, also, I'm one of the first people in my family to get a college degree, and I think the second person in my family to get a master's degree. So I did feel some weight of from my family and from my culture, just because even though there's the stereotype that Asians go to college, but the area from where my family comes from is very poor. It's like a countryside where all of them are farmers. So I did feel like pressure that since I had the opportunities in life that I needed to be successful, because I have a lot of cousins that were stuck in China, that were stuck being farmers, and they didn't have opportunity to go to school. So when they look at me, I felt like I needed to be a role model, or at least be a good example. So that's my experience. For you guys, do you feel like there's any pressure for you to be successful? Do you feel like there's any pressure for you to go against the stereotypes? In discussion number 6, I gave you guys some statistics about the average number of people that are able to graduate from LUSD and the area that's you come from. Do you feel like you have to, or is there expectations for you to move against that? With that, we close our unit. As mentioned many times, you guys have quizzes after each section. You have the letter, and you have the essay. All right. As a reminder, by Friday, we need to do discussion 9, which is the Salem witch trials. And I moved this one to next Tuesday, and we're talking about McCarthyism. On Friday, we're going to look at the Salem witch trials. We're done with the book by then. So by Wednesday night, everyone have given me their essays, and I graded it. And you should have your Crusoe book, or you should have the PDF. This one just unzip something. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. All right, so I threw a lot of information at you guys out at once. Now's your chance. You can either in the chat box or unmuting yourself. Do you guys have any questions? Are we good?
When's the letter due?
The letter. So, as I said, grades are due Thursday. That is due tomorrow.
Mr. Tom,
Yes.
do you think you can check my letter while you're checking my essay too?
Yeah. Did you put inside the folder?
Yeah, I'm
Alright,
still
yeah.
not done with it because I thought it was due like next week, but
No, we don't have time for that. I have to move on.
okay.
Yeah, definitely. Any questions? No? Alex, do you choose a time when you meet?
He doesn't like talking to people.
I don't like talking to people face to face.
Face to face. All right, Alex, I'm free today too. I'm actually free right after this because we're gonna end in about the next 2 minutes. If you want to stay on